We need your help. We need to find out who's telling the truth. Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Guys, I forgot to write today's date down. Today is 4/24/17, and it's show 172, and the name of the show is TESLAnomics. Now I know you're gonna look at that and you're gonna say, Rich, that's brilliant. You're a genius. You know, you put together Tesla and the fact that Tesla is going to create a new economic industry and a new economic boom. And guys, I'm not the genius. Well, I am the genius, but I didn't make this up. I got it off of YouTube. And the guy that came up with the name TESLAnomics, we're going to do a clip from him tonight. Because I'll tell you, with everything that Elon Musk and Tesla shouldn't be called Tesla Motors anymore. It should be called Tesla Energy. And we're going to show you tonight with the Gigafactory and with the battery packs and with the fact that they're going to start producing the third generation car, you know, the first economy model Tesla. So we're going to go through all of this tonight, guys, but we're going to have a lot of fun because, you know, when it comes to science, science is what enabled Tesla to be able to become Tesla. And what I mean by that is Elon Musk had the foresight to understand that we needed to have a renewable energy system based on transportation. And this is why he came up with Tesla Motors, and he proved that renewable cars, battery-operated cars, don't have to be three-wheel, ugly-looking monsters. And guys, tonight we're going to prove to you beyond a doubt how all the patience has paid off for Tesla. But first, the most important thing that we want to discuss on this show is Tesla was able to derive all these different things by using science. And guys, science is so important. And what drives me crazy and what puts me in front of the camera is the climate deniers. And Uncle Joey, we all love Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey will be a climate denier until the day he dies. And why? It's too late. He's too dug in. He dug his own grave, and you know, hey. And I tell him, I said, Joe, I feel sorry for your kids because of the fact that you refuse. You know, Joey's not a stupid guy. And we're going to talk about Tesla's market capitalization. And Joey's very familiar with market capitalization. I'm saying, wait a minute. A guy that can understands the market principles and understands the free market. Why isn't Uncle Joey embracing Tesla? It's beyond me. But you know, guys, the first clip we're going to do is from Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he put it very simply. He said, science is true, whether you believe it or not. And this is what we have to teach our kids. Science is true. It's provable. It's repeatable. There's no questions. Science is certain. The only thing about science is it becomes more certain as we go along, as we develop more evidence, more proof. It just keeps, and that's why we have a consensus. And we're going to play a cute little clip about the consensus that you're going to really enjoy. But first, we're going to show you the clip from Neil deGrasse Tyson. And guys, he puts his cards on the table. He calls a spade. And Uncle Joey, you're not going to be happy with this clip, but hopefully It'll teach your kids a lesson. So Judy, clip number 1, please.
How did America rise up from a backwoods country to be one of the greatest nations the world has ever known? We pioneered industries. And all of this required the greatest innovations in science and technology in the world. And so science is a fundamental part of the country that we are. But in this, the 21st century, when it comes time to make decisions about science, it seems to me people have lost the ability to judge what is true and what is not, what is reliable, what is not reliable, what should you believe, what should you not believe. And when you have people who don't know much about science, standing in denial of it and rising to power, that is a recipe for the complete dismantling of our informed democracy.
Let us demand that educators around America teach evolution not as fact, but as theory.
An increasing number of parents showing skepticism about vaccinations.
Voters have approved a ban on GMOs.
It's called climate change unproven science.
That's not the country I remember growing up in. Not that we didn't have challenges. I'm old enough to remember the 60s and the 70s. We got a hot war and a cold war, civil rights movement, and all of this was going on. But I don't remember any time where people were standing in denial of what science was. One of the great things about science is that it is an entire exercise in finding what is true. You have a hypothesis, you test it, I get a result. A rival of mine double checks it because they think I might be wrong. They perform an even better experiment than I did and they find out, hey, this experiment matches. Oh my gosh, we're onto something here. And out of this rises a new emergent truth. It does it better than anything else we have ever come up with as human beings. This is science. It's not something to toy with. It's not something to say, I choose not to believe E equals MC squared. You don't have that option. When you have an established scientific emergent truth, it is true whether or not you believe in it. And the sooner you understand that, the faster we can get on with the political conversations about how to solve the problems that face us. So once you understand that humans are warming the planet, you can then have a political conversation about that. You can say, well, are there carbon credits? Do we do this? Do we put a tariff on it? Do we fund? Do we subsidize? Those have political answers. And every minute one is in denial, you are delaying the political solution that should have been established years ago. As a voter, as a citizen, scientific issues will come before you. And isn't it worth it to say, all right, let me at least become scientifically literate so that I can think about these issues and act intelligently upon them. Recognize what science is and allow it to be what it can and should be in the service of civilization. It's in our hands.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching the feed on Facebook, and Thanks for waking me up. John, are we getting sound on Facebook? Okay, good. All right, but I apologize. Hey guys, this is only the second time we've done it, so you caught me asleep at the switch. But I wanted to point out, did you guys notice what the Vice President of the United States? Okay, I guess we're in a timeout. I don't know.
Let us demand that educators around America teach evolution not as fact, but as theory.
Increasing number of...
Okay, can you play that again, please?
Let us demand that educators around America teach evolution not as fact, but as theory.
Increasing number of...
Okay, so you're going to come back to me now, right? All right. I don't know what's going on here, guys. We're having technical difficulties. But you heard Pence say, we want to teach evolution not as a fact. Guys, evolution is a fact. We've got more than 65 million years of evidence that evolution is a fact. And the fact that the President of the United States doesn't know that a theory is sound evidence, like the theory of relativity, cannot be questioned. But the Vice President of the United States thinks a theory is when a scientist drank too much coffee. This is a shame. This guy makes decisions for the rest of the country, and he doesn't know about evolution, and he doesn't know what a theory is. This guy's more embarrassing than Trump. And you're going to say, Rich, that's being brutally honest. That's why we do the show, guys. It's called Who's Telling the Truth? And, you know, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here, hopefully, to teach some people the truth. Right, Uncle Joey? Uncle Joey just can't accept it. He just can't accept it. But guys, sometimes you have to teach the Republicans like little kids. You have to treat them like simple folk. And guys, if you ever watch me on Facebook, you'll notice that simple folk is one of my favorite terms. So let's have some fun with some little kids, and we'll show you how the kids explain science. Let's hope this works. Judy, clip 3, please.
There is no debate. 97% of climate scientists agree that climate change is real and caused by people.
Then what's this?
A snowball. Snow is an effect of weather. Short-term conditions like rainy or snowy. Climate is the long-term average, like 30 years. And our Earth's climate, it's getting warmer. That is a fact. Bam, bam. What?
See, guys? When you've got your science together, you can give them the old bada bing. And you can stand there and be proud of the fact that you've done your homework and you know what you're talking about. And why Uncle Joey can't understand this, and why he's got to put up this front, you know, to stand by the Republican Party. And like I say to Joey all the time, Joey, with you, it's just like the Nazis. My party wrong, my party right or wrong, my party. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about the planet. The only thing he cares about is making sure that the fossil fuel companies keep ripping us off. And we're going to make sure that Tesla doesn't allow this to happen. So guys, we're going to play the clip that introduced me to the term TESLAnomics. And I tell you, this guy, Ben, he did a beautiful job, and we're going to introduce you to it. And Judy, we're going to cut this video at around the 2:40 mark if we can. We just want to get all the information so everybody knows how they can get in touch with this guy. Because, guys, that's what this is all about. It's all about sharing socially with other people, doing something like we're doing right now on Facebook. And Judy, can we put our call number up? I'm surprised Uncle Joey hasn't called us yet. But this is what it's all about. I tell you, you tell somebody else, and after a while, people will be ashamed to be deniers. And you look them in the eye and say, where are you getting your information from? Cite your source. And guys, most of the time, people go, I saw it on Fox News. Yeah, well, if you saw it on Fox News, guess what? Throw it away. Throw it away like yesterday's newspaper. If there's anybody left at Fox News, you saw they got rid of Bill O'Reilly, right? The flagship, the guy that's been there forever. Adios. Yeah, things are changing, and I'm happy. So anyway, Judy, let's introduce ourselves to TESLAnomics. Back on, okay.
About Tesla.
All right, now wait a minute.
But first, some
Hey guys, thanks for joining me, and I wanted to give you today an update about the channel. You see, this channel started really with my passion of looking at data and trying to make sense of it. And this started when I started my career in the field of data analysis back in the late 90s at the phone company MCI, if you remember when we had such things as phone companies. And back then, I really found a passion for just looking for the objective truth by analyzing the data. Everyone tries to add their opinions or slice the data to just the stuff that matters to them or whatever it may be. But what I found was if you look at the data and try to listen to what it's telling you, you'll find new things out that you really had no shot at before just by being open to listening. And since November, I started to focus this channel specifically on the data behind Tesla. Now, you have responded and you've given me a ton of feedback, literally thousands of comments, millions of views, and now over 8,000 subscribers. So since November, actually, we went from 800 subscribers to over 8,000. Back in November, we had about 100,000 minutes of watch time on this channel. Now we have over 2 million minutes of watch time. That's how much time you spend on YouTube, whether or not you're watching my videos or other videos, whatever the case may be. But as a subscriber of this channel, all the time you spend on YouTube actually really helps, especially if you start your viewing session with a video from this channel. So what I've decided to do is instead of just looking at data about anything in the world, I wanted to really focus this channel on Tesla related data and economics. So what we're gonna do now, instead of Ben Sullins Data Geek, it's gonna be TESLAnomics by Ben Sullins. It's a play on one of my favorite shows, Freakonomics, where they look at the economics behind all kinds of things. Here we're gonna do something similar, but we're gonna look at the economics behind Tesla, the company, behind their products and other products that are similar or maybe comparisons, as well as look at things like product reviews from Tesla products or aftermarket stuff and all that kind of stuff. So we're really gonna dig into the math and the data and a lot of what's going on with a company that is profoundly changing the world we live in, and maybe giving us a new world to live in. Who knows if that'll happen someday. So I wanted to thank you so much for joining me and helping me with this transition and focusing this channel on something that you care about. I also have now created a new website, TESLAnomics.co, and if you haven't already, I would really encourage you to go sign up for the email list. There, what you'll get is every time we have a new episode, you get an email directly to you, as well as some downloadable analysis that I do. So see, often what I do is I find data or I
site. You can go on. I mean, the guy's a sharp cookie, and I tell you, to come up with that name, just thought it was so dynamite. And once again, I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I'm a victim of circumstances. All right, now, the one thing that happened with Tesla is Tesla overtook GM as the #1 market capitalization car manufacturer in the country. And guys, this is what Uncle Joey is fully aware of. So how can a guy that's so intuitive and knows so much about market capitalization not understand about science? But we're going to play this short clip for you, and then Judy, we're coming with a still, so you got to be on your toes. So let's have clip number 5, please.
Talk about a hope for the future. Tesla surpassing GM as the top US automaker by market capitalization. What do you think about that, David Weston?
What was it just last week? They passed Ford, right? They just passed Ford, and now they've passed GM as well.
I guess now they've got to deliver.
Yeah, a lot of cars. Those Model 3s.
Well, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, right? Didn't they wind up last week? It did pretty well, and also get an upgrade today from Piper Jaffray at the same time.
But they got to produce the automobiles, actually. And the Model 3 is their big claim to fame.
Well, Jeannie, you think about the future, and you bring up the consumer, autos. Yeah. Last week, I never thought I'd see a market that went risk off on the back of auto sales. What does that tell you?
Well,
Guys, when we first featured Tesla on this show, it was on show number 17. It was about 4 years ago. The price of the Tesla stock back then was $28 a share. Can you believe that? And now it's over 300. But guys, the one thing that they missed the bigger story. And the bigger story is the fact that Tesla is now not only a motor company, it's an energy company. And this is the point that they seem to miss. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you a still now on the market capitalization, because if there's one thing that Uncle Joey likes, it's charts. So Judy, still number 6, please. There you go. Guys, look at that chart. You could have bought the stock back in the middle of December for $180 a share. And now it's up almost $310. So Judy, come. So Joe, guys, if you ever want to confuse a climate denier, ask him to show you a chart on global cooling. Uncle Joey is still looking for one. But guys, the next clip, we're going to show you why Tesla's stock is skyrocketing, and it's because of the story. It's a story that just keeps getting better and better and better. So Judy, let's have clip number 7, please.
But first, some eye-popping news in the automotive world. The market value of Tesla, the manufacturer of high-end electric cars, has actually surpassed that of Ford and General Motors, both of which sell millions more cars than Tesla does. William Brangham takes a closer look.
Here are some head-scratching numbers to consider. Tesla's market value is roughly $50 billion, yet Tesla may lose nearly $1 billion this year, whereas combined, Ford and GM are expected to earn more than $15 billion. Last year, Tesla sold just about 80,000 cars. Ford and GM, they sold nearly 17
Look at the
million.
difference, guys.
James Stewart is a business columnist for the New York Times and a staff writer for the New Yorker, and he's here to help us understand why Tesla's value is skyrocketing. James Stewart, welcome to the NewsHour. You know these numbers very, very well. What is going on here?
Well, these numbers are pretty amazing. They make no rational sense, really, but Tesla is what I call the sort of ultimate story stock, which means investors care about the story. They don't care about the numbers. They do not care that it's losing. They lost over $500 million last year, may lose $1 billion this year, and they don't really care that GM and Ford are making billions of dollars in profit. The story with Tesla is that they are going to dominate the auto market, that they are going to create the world's safest car, that they are going to take over the battery market, and that they are going to dominate and reinvent the electric grid. I mean, these are all huge markets, and they think Tesla is going to dominate every one of them.
As you wrote in a recent column in the New York Times, there have been a lot of other story stocks and story companies that the story turned out to be a lot more fiction than fact. I mean, how do we know whether Tesla is going to be one of those?
Well, we don't. And most story stocks which trade at these astronomical levels end up very badly. There were scores of these in the dot-com boom, now forgotten, worthless. But more recently, the Amazon story has caused investors to be very excited. Amazon didn't make any money for years. It plowed all of its revenues back into R&D, but the story is it was going to dominate the vast global retailing market. It still hasn't achieved that. It still is not making huge amounts of money, but investors in Amazon have done very, very well over a period that's now going on to decades. So stock investors in Tesla can do well as long as the story holds. So every time you see a bit of data that confirms the story, the stock surges. Like it had modestly better sales in the last quarter than expected. The stock was up 7%. Now, I will say for Tesla, it also has delivered a product that people love. It's quality, it looks great, it performs great, and so far it has actually met its promises, even though they seem far-fetched at one time.
I mean, I would agree with all those characterizations. It's a beautiful car. I've ridden in one. It's a fantastic vehicle to be in. But there have been some quality and reliability issues, and primarily their customers have been a luxury market customers. I know Tesla is now trying to roll out a more mid-market car. If they had those same reliability problems, do you worry that that could really dent their image?
Well, I have to say in Tesla's defense that, yeah, there have been some issues, but nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, I think just in January, the federal monitors, gave it its highest safety evaluation. And one of the stories that people are so excited about is that its autonomous driving technology is going to make the car incredibly safe. But we'll see. You're right. It is the high-end customers so far that's driving the sales, and a big, big step is for them is when they try to expand that market by moving into more of a mass market car with this 3 model at a much higher production level. Can they keep the quality levels up? Can they keep the consumer satisfaction levels up? Again, though, I have to say Tesla was very smart. They started at the high end. They developed incredible brand allure, and now they're moving down market. GM, I think, had a terrific car, first with the Volt, now the Bolt, but they buried in the Chevy nameplate, and it didn't take on any allure whatsoever for consumers.
What are the other automakers saying about this? I mean, this must make them livid.
Well, they won't say it publicly about a competitor, but they're tearing their hair out. They don't get it at all because Tesla gets the benefit of every possible doubt from investors. They get the benefit of none. Tesla doesn't have profits, so you can't measure its stock compared to profits, but profit to earning ratio, which is a common stock measure, Ford and GM have some of the lowest in the stock market. As Tesla trades at like 7 times the revenue. Ford, when I looked this week, was trading at 0.3 times revenue. I mean, I do feel kind of bad for them. People feel the sun has set on the traditional auto industry, and they just are not getting any benefit of the doubt.
All right, James B. Stewart, thank you very much.
Sure.
Guys, the one thing you have to understand is that the market works in anticipation of what a company is going to do. And that's why the price is skyrocketing, because people can undersee. They can see and they can understand. And for the rest of the show, we're just going to pile it on with what Tesla is doing and how it's benefiting its shareholders and how it's making things happen. And the next clip is we're going to show you things that you didn't know about Tesla. So guys, this is a nice clip. And this is an 11-minute clip, so like we say in these long clips, smoke if you got 'em. Judy?
What you don't know about Tesla. Number
A
17, an
factimonial. How
affordable
about that,
Tesla.
guys?
Right now, Teslas are considered to be luxury vehicles, and their prices reflect that. What most people don't know, however, is that Tesla has always planned to release an affordable car. Elon Musk has long said in interviews that his plan for breaking into the car market as a new player was to establish the Tesla brand as a well-known, high-end car maker, and then use that brand recognition to push into the consumer car market. The Model 3 is that offering, and will start at just $35,000 when it is released later this year. Number 16. Second oldest publicly traded American car manufacturer. It may seem surprising, but Tesla Motors is actually the second oldest publicly traded American auto manufacturer behind Ford, which has its initial public offering in 1956. This is because General Motors, or GM, despite being traded since 1916, went bankrupt and had their stock delisted in 2009. GM did re-enter the stock market with an IPO in November 2010, but this was 5 months after Tesla's IPO in June of 2010. Chrysler re-entered the market in 2014. Number 15. In the company of friends. Although Tesla Motors is still considered a new up-and-coming car manufacturer, they've got quite a lot to show for their time in the world. Tesla Motors currently employs more than 14,000 people, has a market value exceeding $33 billion, and has seen its stock rise more than 1,000% since its first public offering. Although the company technically hasn't had a profitable year yet, their annual revenue continues to rise year over year, with revenues rising nearly $1 billion each year since 2013. As of right now, Tesla Motors sells mainly directly to customers, as its sale model is having difficulty gaining traction in many states. In fact, Tesla currently only has 52 showrooms worldwide, compared to thousands owned by other car manufacturers. Number 14. Tesla repaid their ATVM loan 9 years early. The Department of Energy lent Tesla Motors a whopping $465 million to help them get off the ground and get operations set up. They were given a term of 12 years to repay the loan when it was awarded to the fledgling company in 2010. However, Tesla raised over $1 billion in their second offering and wisely chose to put about half of those funds to getting their ATVM loan paid off, a full 9 years before they were scheduled to do so. Number 13. The Model S broke the stress testing machine. The Tesla Model S, by far their most successful vehicle to date, is renowned for being one of the safest, most durable vehicles on the road. It's so safe, in fact, that when the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration attempted to administer a crash test to the Model S, it actually broke their machine. That's right, the machine designed to brake cars itself broke when it tried to crush the Model S. Because of this, the Model S holds the title for the highest safety rating of any car ever. Number 12. Highest ever Consumer Reports rating. Consumer Reports, the organization and publication which is widely trusted for providing crucially accurate information about products, recently gave the Tesla Model S the highest rating they've ever awarded any car, a 99 out of 100. This came after rigorous testing and retesting to ensure that they hit every possible point and discovered every possible weakness, and even then they were still astonished by how robust the car is. The only points the car really got against it all had to do with how it charges. The all-electric vehicle can take up to 12 hours to refill its batteries, and charging stations are not yet available throughout the country. Tesla has plans to change that, however, and already offers free charging up and down the California coast. Number 11. Tesla Supercharging Network. Regarding that network up and down the California coast, it's pretty remarkable already. Formally announced in 2012, the network of superchargers aims to downplay anxiety over the range of Tesla vehicles. Owners and potential owners alike worry that they will not be able to take long trips in their Tesla vehicle, since there currently aren't many places to top up. The network built by Tesla now provides a much faster option and for free. The network of Tesla charging stations currently offers service which can charge your battery to 50% in just 30 minutes, and are planning to integrate a system which will allow them to swap your battery out for a full one, essentially giving you a full charge in about 2 minutes. Number 10. A name from greatness. The name Tesla is now a familiar one in American households, and this is largely due to the excellent marketing and strategies of CEO Elon Musk. However, less people know where the name itself comes from. The name Tesla is a homage to Nikola Tesla, a Serbian-American electrical engineer who lived in the early part of the 20th century and is directly responsible for nearly every modern electrical device. Although Thomas Edison is given credit for bringing electricity to the masses, his systems actually fell far short of those created by Tesla, and it was Tesla's designs which have made our modern life possible. Tesla Motors was named after this man to honor his legacy as well as to celebrate the work he did. Number 9. Elon Musk wants to eliminate side mirrors. Although he has already significantly changed the face of the auto industry, Elon Musk isn't done yet. He also wants to change the face of the cars themselves, literally. When the Model X was debuted, spectators noticed it lacked side mirrors. Instead, the car used small cameras built into the doors, paired with monitors on the inside of the doors, to replace the antiquated side mirror system. This drastically reduced the drag coefficient of the vehicle, giving it far better aerodynamics, while keeping the vehicle just as safe. Unfortunately, this broke federal safety regulations, so the production model of the X does in fact have side mirrors. Nevertheless, Musk has stated that he will seek to change those laws. Number 8. Tesla's patents are 100% open for use. Elon Musk has stated many times that his number one priority with Tesla Motors is to change how humans interact with the environment. To do this, he knows that he has to make electric cars viable for mainstream acceptance, as well as make people want them. Rather than just trying to do this on his own, though, Musk has taken a fairly revolutionary step with Tesla. He has made all of its patents open for public use. Musk encourages other manufacturers to adopt the creations and improvements Tesla has made, in order to bring these features into public use faster and more widely than would otherwise be possible. This is an unprecedented step, and one for which Tesla has been widely commended. Number 7. Musk didn't start Tesla on his own. Although Elon Musk deserves much of the credit for the mainstream widespread success of Tesla Motors, he didn't do it all on his own. In fact, the company was originally founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. In fact, Eberhard served as the company's CEO until 2007. Musk came into the company when he led the first investment round in 2004 and joined the board of directors as chairman, later of course going on to become the company's CEO. Number 6. The Gigafactory. No one has bet on Tesla's success more than Tesla itself. In fact, the company is investing more than $5 billion to build what it calls the Gigafactory 1. The factory, which will produce lithium-ion batteries both for use in Tesla vehicles as well as home battery arrays for solar power, is being constructed in Nevada, and although it is not 100% operational as of yet, is already producing batteries on a limited scale. The name Gigafactory comes from the company's goal, and for the plant to be able to produce 35 gigawatt-hours annually. It is expected that this facility will reduce the cost to produce a Tesla battery by as much as 30%. Tesla is so invested in this idea that a Gigafactory 2 is already being planned for Europe. Number 5. Commitment to renewable energy. Tesla means business when it comes to renewable energy. With a facility as large and energy-hungry as the Gigafactory discussed above, you'd think that Tesla would have to cave and subsidize some of its power needs with traditional grid power. Not so. Actually, the Gigafactory will run on 100% renewable energy. Much of this will come from on-site solar sources, since the Gigafactory is being constructed in sunny Nevada and will itself be covered in solar panels. Tesla notes on its website that the Gigafactory will offset its energy needs so much by generating renewable energy that its energy footprint will balance out to essentially zero. Number 4. Virtually no replacements needed. A lot of people still don't quite understand the appeal of electric vehicles, and that's okay. Companies have a long way to go before they can convince the American public that getting rid of their gas guzzler is a good idea. This is especially challenging when the entry cost for a Model S is just shy of $90,000. But one fact which might help sway some potential buyers is that the Model S itself, once you own it, requires virtually no maintenance. The electric motor is far less hassle to maintain than an internal combustion engine, and the car only has 6 parts, which needs regular replacement. Those parts are the 4 tires and the 2 windshield wiper blades. Number 3. Solving a major problem. Although the Model S is known to be essentially the safest vehicle ever made, Tesla ran into some bad press in 2013 when certain car collisions resulted in vehicle fires. This was due mainly to the battery packs which power the Model S being punctured and catching fire. Although the drivers all exited the vehicles long before safety became an issue, Tesla nevertheless received a lot of bad press regarding the incidents and was forced to respond. Their response was total. Tesla installed 3 shields along the underbody of the Model S, which effectively eliminated the risk. The shield consists of a rounded hollow aluminum bar which deflect or absorb the impact of any debris in the road. The next piece, the most substantial, is a titanium plate covering the battery area as well as the front of the vehicle, and not only protects the vehicle but will destroy objects caught underneath it. Finally, a solid aluminum extrusion blocks any debris which might remain and absorbs the impact, effectively negating the risk they pose. Number 2. Bioweapon defense. As if regular everyday safety weren't enough, Tesla Motors has equipped the Model X with a medical-grade air filter which is capable of scrubbing the air inside the cabin of everything from smog to bioweapons. The HEPA filtration system built into the SUV model strips the air coming into the passenger area of pollen, bacteria, and pollution long before they have a chance to reach the nostrils of human occupants. In fact, the system is modeled after and spec'd to match that of hospital filtration systems. Number 1. What's in a name? You may have noticed that Tesla has what appears to be a fairly straightforward naming system for their vehicles. They've only produced 3 cars to date, but the names themselves, while simple, might seem a bit arbitrary to you. We've got the Model S, the high-end luxury sedan. Then came the Model X, the luxury SUV. Recently announced and soon to be released is the Model 3, the consumer-grade Tesla. What do these names stand for? Well, it might become a bit clearer when you realize that the next Tesla is rumored to be the Model Y, and that Elon Musk himself has confirmed that the naming conventions do have a purpose. Let's line those up and it should become clear. S3XY. See it?
Subscribe.
All right, guys, it's hard to believe how valuable the company is, isn't it? And I loved where they said, in case of a biological attack, your Tesla has the purest air filtration system. So it's got that going for it. But guys, the next clip is going to feature the Model 3, the economy model that is about to be produced at by the end of this year. And we have reservations for one of the Generation 3 cars. Our former director for the show, John, has put down a deposit for a Gen 3. So he put $1,000, a down payment. He's one of the guys that, I think there was 1 million people, so they took in $1 billion, and they're sitting on that much. Can you imagine that? All these people had that much faith in Tesla. And why did they have faith? Judy, let's show them why they have faith.
Welcome everyone to the Model 3 unveil. We have
Tesla's most important electric car is finally here, the $35,000 Model 3. It's a fast, affordable, and yes, very sexy car that doesn't need to apologize for running on batteries. Here's what we saw at the unveil.
Hi. So what do you think?
First, this is a car that looks unlike anything on the road today. If you like Tesla's Model S and Model X, you'll probably love the Model 3 because it combines some of the best design elements from each, like the elegant curves of the S and the tight-lipped front of the X. The windshield is a slow wave of glass that flows from the front of the car to the back with hardly any interruption. The interior is different and will probably cause the most diverging opinions. Tesla shrinks its famously massive touchscreen control panel from 17 inches to 15, and it does away with the normal instrument panel altogether. This minimalism frees up some legroom in the back seat for a car that Musk says will fit 5 adults comfortably. This is the model that's meant to take electric cars mainstream, so Musk only talked about the base model, focusing on what customers will get for that $35,000 entry price point. Details on big upgrades will come later, but for the base price, there's a ton of value here. It goes from 0 to 60 miles an hour in less than 6 seconds, which is faster than the entry-level BMW 3 Series and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class with which it will compete.
At Tesla, we don't make slow cars.
The battery range starts at 215 miles per charge, which is better than any electric vehicle on the road today that's not a Tesla. Every Model 3 will come equipped for Tesla's autopilot features and high-speed charging. The Model 3 won't begin deliveries until late 2017 at the earliest, but that didn't stop people from lining up at Tesla showrooms around the world to put down a $1,000 deposit. In the 24 hours before the event, Tesla received $115 million in reservations. That's something new for the auto industry, and after seeing this car, those reservations are going to go up.
I mean, this is really important for the future of the world. Thank you.
And guys, you know, here's the reservation. It says, thank you for placing a reservation for Model 3. By making your reservation, you have secured the approximate priority within your region for taking delivery of your Model 3. Additional details about priority can be found on our website. Effective date. Your reservation becomes effective when you place your reservation and we receive your reservation payment, which he's done. While this reservation secures the approximate delivery priority within your region, it does not constitute the purchase order of a vehicle. So he's got, he put his cards on the table, he put his money in the pot, and John is I'm telling you, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. You know, he started directing the show. He went and he got a job in the solar industry. He went to night school and got an education as an electrician. And now he's installing panels and he's kicking butt. And I tell you, this is what it's all about. This is the renewable industry and the way it generates opportunities. And guys, the next clip we're going to play for you is from the Young Turks. And Cenk Younger points out Tesla does something that no other company in the history of the world has ever done. They've opened up their patents. And why? Like Elon Musk said, hey, if you're going to steal our ideas, do it the right way. And guys, it looks like it's going to pay off for him. So, Judy, let's have clip number 10, please.
Elon Musk is a bit of a brilliant guy. He's actually the only person that has ever started in the U.S. 2 different companies that have a valuation over $1 billion. Now, he started more companies than that, and they're all successful, but 2 of them went over $1 billion. So the guy kind of knows what he's doing. Now, Tesla's been fairly successful. That's one of his larger companies, obviously. But he decided that he was going to do a bold move anyway and say, look, I have all these patents that make the Tesla so interesting to people. That's why they're buying it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to release them. That's kind of amazing. So he wrote an op-ed explaining why. Let's go through that. He said, Tesla Motors was created to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport. If we clear a path to the creation of compelling electric vehicles, but then lay intellectual property landmines behind us to inhibit others, we are acting in a manner contrary to that goal. Tesla will not initiate patent lawsuits against anyone who in good faith wants to use our technology. He's saying, look, we created this technology. Yes, I'm profiting off of it, and we'd like to profit more. Of course, they're capitalists. They believe in that, right? But he's saying at the same time, part of the point was to get us off the fossil fuels to help the world. And if people are not following in our footsteps as we thought they were going to, well, we got to fix that. Now, he also has his own self-interest here, which I'm going to get to in a second, but that's a great move for the world. So he continues. We felt compelled to create patents out of concern that the big car companies would copy our technology and then use their massive manufacturing, sales, and marketing power to overwhelm Tesla. The unfortunate reality is the opposite. Electric programs or programs for any vehicles that doesn't burn hydrocarbons at the major manufacturers are small to non-existent, constituting an average of far less than 1% of their total vehicle sales. So he's saying, look, man, we thought, oh my God, we got to compete with these other electric cars that are going to come out. Turns out they didn't even bother trying to compete with us. And that's not where the competition is. So by all means, have the patents. Let's get some real competition because we need more electric cars. We got to switch away from fossil fuels. All right. Of course, he also needs more charging stations throughout the country. And the more electric cars there are and the more companies that follow him, the more charging stations there'll be. So look, he's obviously an incredibly bright guy. He's not just doing it out of the goodness of his heart, but you can do the right thing and then get good results for yourself at the same time. And if you do that, bless your heart. So he continues to explain. When I started out with my first company, Zip2, I thought patents were a good thing and worked hard to obtain them. And maybe they were good long ago, but too often these days they serve merely to stifle progress, entrench the positions of giant corporations, and enrich those in the legal profession rather than the actual inventors. So that's really interesting because we talk about the drug companies all the time. We know you'd have to invest a lot of money to create these interesting drugs, and in his case, interesting cars, right? And you get patents for that. But sometimes they wind up abusing those patents in a way where people lose their lives, especially in the pharmaceutical case, because they don't have access to those drugs at reasonable rates. We're not saying you give them away, of course not, right? And here he's saying, oftentimes these patents are overrated anyway. Okay, let's get to actually doing innovation instead of going to court and fighting over patents. He continues, given that the annual new vehicle production is approaching 100 million per year, and the global fleet is approximately 2 billion cars, it's impossible for Tesla to build electric cars fast enough to address the carbon crisis. By the same token, it means that market is enormous. Our true competition is not the small trickle of non-Tesla electric cars being produced, but rather the enormous flood of gasoline cars pouring out of the world's factories every day. And finally, he concludes by saying, we believe that applying the open source philosophy to our patents will strengthen rather than diminish Tesla's position in this regard. So it's good for Tesla, good for the country, good for the world. Hey, if you could actually pull that off, more power to you. And so he announced that recently, and what happened just this week? 2 new companies saying, hey, you know what? We might just take you up on that offer. Here's Nissan's spokesperson saying, we welcome others joining in the effort as we believe universally compatible charging will further accelerate electric vehicle adoption. So the battle is joined, but this is a good battle, a battle to produce more electric cars and get us to the right place. And then BMW also joins, and they say they have had talks with Tesla on how to further strengthen the development of electromobility on an international level. So up and at 'em, there we go. All of a sudden, it's not just Tesla anymore. Here comes Nissan, here comes BMW, and this is a race we can all get behind. What I love is when people do the right thing, and by the way, profit off of it, great, okay, and make the world a little better. So more power to all of them.
Guys, see that? By sharing the patents, every electric car manufacturer can make the same kind of connector so that you can use connectors from different companies to power your cars. It's like what happened at the turn of the centuries with the railroads. You know, you had different railroad companies had different sized tracks. So the one company would bring their train cars to another train and it wouldn't fit. So they said, wait a minute, we got to start making all the tracks the same size so the cars can work through the whole country. And that when you share patents, that's what happens. So guys, we're going to show you the Gigafactory, because we got to show you the Gigafactory. You know, we've been talking about it so much. And when you see what's going on there, and then we're going to talk about the climate march, which is coming up on Saturday. So Judy, let's have clip 11, please.
This is the Gigafactory, for those times when mega is just not enough. It's still under construction, but when it's finished, this will be the largest building in the world by footprint at 5.8 million square feet. That's around 107 football fields.
From the hills surrounding the Gigafactory, you begin to get a sense of the scale here. This is only 14% complete. We've got sections A, B, and C, D under construction, and E just an open site right now.
The factory is critical to Tesla's future. It needs to make batteries cheap enough to realize Elon Musk's dreams of making affordable electric cars for us all. Inside, there are areas where production is already up and running, taking battery cells made in Tesla's Fremont factory and assembling them into battery packs. These assembly lines in Section A are going to get a lot busier. By 2018, when it's running at full capacity, the Gigafactory will double the world's lithium-ion battery production from 2013, when the plan for this mega structure started. But it is still very much a work in progress, something that's hard to ignore.
And this is a great example, just steps from the active factory. There's an active building site. This is sections D and E that are being built right behind us here.
Section D is well underway though. These are the reinforcing bars going in. The concrete floor will be poured within days. The factory's being made as dense as possible, so there are 2 or 3 internal floors where the height of machinery will allow it.
It's all this car's fault, the hotly anticipated Tesla Model 3. Elon Musk thinks he can make 500,000 of these a year by 2018, and they all need batteries.
Eventually, he says, we could see gigafactories on other continents pumping out batteries as fast as we could use them. This one in Nevada, according to him, is just the beginning.
All right, guys, so we're going to end up with the climate march. That's this Saturday, and I'm going to be up in New Milford. If anybody would like to join me, come on up. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to bring my drum, and we're going to have a good time. So we'll see you up in New Milford from 12 to 2. Are we getting a phone call now? How much time we got left? 15 seconds. So guys, I want to apologize for some of the snafus that happened earlier in the show. Hey, but stuff happens. Hey, we are getting a phone call. You're calling at the wrong time. The show's over. All right.